I wore a barong and she wore white. The officiant took pictures. Her family cried. So did I. I thought I was married. I called her my wife for 2 years. But the judge looked at my documents and just shook his head. They weren't real. None of it was. I wasn't her husband. I was her visa plan. I'm holding a plastic cup filled with warm Coke, standing in Raquel's aunt's backyard in Tagum City. The air smells like grilled fish and sampaguita flowers. Her cousin Maria kisses my cheek and says, "Welcome to the family. Kuya Alvin." Everyone keeps calling me the husband. Raquel's in this white cocktail dress that makes her look like an angel. She's 24 years younger than me, but right now, surrounded by her family's laughter, that doesn't matter. Nothing matters except this moment. I lift my plastic cup and my voice cracks a little. To my wife, my everything. The crowd cheers. Raquel smiles at me like I hung the moon. The pastor who performed our ceremony is eating lumpia at the food table. There's also this man in a polo shirt with a manila folder under his arm. He's the one who brought the papers. I don't really understand his role, but Raquel says he's official. That's enough for me. I've been married twice before, both times in sterile courtrooms back in Bellingham. This feels different. This feels chosen. Her Tita Rosa grabs my hand and says, "You make our Raquel so happy." We can see it in her eyes. I believe her. I want to believe her. Raquel walks over and slips her arm through mine. "My husband looks so handsome in his barong," she whispers. My husband. Those words make my chest tight with joy. At 67, I never thought I'd hear them again. She leans into me and I smell her shampoo, something floral and sweet. "Are you happy, Mahal?" she asks. Mahal. My love. I learned that word on my second visit here. "I'm the happiest man alive," I tell her. And I mean it. I absolutely mean it. The celebration goes until midnight. Kids are running around with sparklers. The adults are singing karaoke versions of old love songs. I'm sitting in a plastic chair, watching Raquel dance with her nieces, thinking about how lucky I am. 2 failed marriages, kids who barely call, a retirement that felt more like exile. Then I found her. Or she found me. "Thank you, God," I whisper to myself. "Thank you for giving me one more chance at love." When we finally get back to our hotel room, Raquel helps me out of the barong. "My husband," she says again, running her fingers over my wedding ring. It's a simple gold band we bought at a mall in Davao. "My wife," I say back, touching her face. She closes her eyes and leans into my palm. "I love you, Alvin. More than you know." I believe her. Why wouldn't I? We just got married. This is supposed to be the beginning of our forever. I never thought I'd be the guy who finds love on the internet. But after my second divorce finalized, after my heart attack scare at 65, something in me shifted. I was sitting in my empty house in Bellingham, staring at bills from the cardiologist, wondering if this was it for me. My son Derek lives in Salt Lake City with his family. We text maybe once a month. My daughter Emma moved to Berlin for work and sends me Christmas cards. Good kids, but they have their own lives. Can't blame them. I wasn't around much when they were young, too busy delivering mail, trying to keep marriages together that were already broken. I joined International Love Match on a Thursday night in February. It felt pathetic, typing up a profile at my age. Retired postal worker seeks companionship. Jesus. But I was lonely. Really, truly lonely, in a way that makes your chest ache. That's when Raquel's message popped up. "Hello, handsome stranger. Your smile caught my attention." Her profile said she was 32, worked part-time at a beauty clinic in Tagum City. Her photos were beautiful but not overdone. Natural. Real. We started chatting every day. She'd wake up at 6 her time to catch me before bed. "Good morning, sunshine," she'd type. "How was your day?" I'd tell her about my walks around Lake Padden, about the novel I was trying to write, about my doctor appointments. She'd share photos of her simple life, the clinic where she worked, street food she ate for lunch, her family's sorry store. "I'm not rich," she wrote once, "but I'm honest. I'm loyal. I believe in true love." After 5 months of daily conversations, I booked a flight to Davao. My hands were shaking when I landed. What if she didn't show up? What if the photos were fake? What if this whole thing was some elaborate scam? But there she was at the arrival's gate, holding a handwritten sign that said, "Welcome to Philippines, Alvin." She had flowers. "Sampaguita," she told me later, "for good luck." When she hugged me, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: hope. She took me to her world gradually. We ate at local restaurants where she translated the menu. She introduced me to her friends at the clinic. We visited her family's small house in the countryside. Her parents were dead, but her Aunt Rosa treated me like a son. "Raquel has been hurt before," Rosa told me in broken English. "Foreign man made promises. Never came back. You seem different." I wanted to be different. I wanted to be the one who stayed. One evening, we were walking along Roxas Avenue in Davao. The sun was setting over Samal Island. Raquel stopped and took my hand. "Alvin, I need to tell you something." My heart stopped. Here it comes, I thought. The truth, the catch. "I'm falling in love with you," she said. "For real, not because you're American, not because you can help me. Because of who you are, your kind heart, the way you listen to me." I kissed her right there on the sidewalk. "I love you too," I said, "more than I've ever loved anyone." That night in our hotel room, she curled up against my chest. "Would you ever consider moving here?" she asked quietly. "Making a life with me?" I didn't hesitate. "Yes," I said, "if you'll have me." She looked up at me with tears in her eyes. "I'll have you, Alvin. For always." I should have known it was too good to be true. Love at my age. Love that felt effortless and right. But I wanted to believe. God help me, I wanted to believe. After my third visit to the Philippines, Raquel started bringing up marriage. We were having breakfast at a cafe in Davao when she said, "Alvin, I want to be your wife, not just your girlfriend." My coffee cup froze halfway to my lips. "Are you proposing to me?" I asked, smiling. She blushed and laughed. "Maybe I am. What do you think?" I reached across the table and took her hand. "I think yes, 1,000 times yes." But when I suggested we have a civil ceremony at City Hall, Raquel shook her head. "That takes too long. Too much paperwork. I have an uncle who can do it faster. He's like a lawyer. He handles these things all the time." I was confused. "Like a lawyer? What does that mean?" She waved her hand dismissively. "He has connections. He knows the right people. Trust me, Mahal. My family has used him for everything." I should have asked more questions. I should have demanded to see his credentials. But I was caught up in the romance of it all. A Filipino wedding with her family. Traditional. Intimate. "Okay," I said. "If you trust him, I trust him." Her face lit up. "Really? You'll do this my way?" I nodded. "Your way is our way now." The day of the ceremony, I'm standing in a barong Tagalog that Raquel picked out for me. It's embroidered and formal, and I feel like I'm playing dress-up. Her uncle arrives with a manila folder full of papers. He's a short man in his 50s with thick glasses and a nervous smile. He speaks to Raquel in rapid Bisaya. I catch maybe every 10th word. "What's he saying?" I ask her. "Just ceremony things. Details about the paperwork." The uncle hands me a pen and points to signature lines. The documents are in English, but the legal language is dense. I scan them quickly. Marriage contract, affidavit of single status, certificate of something. They look official enough. Seals and stamps and fancy headers. "Do I need to read all this?" I ask. Raquel touches my arm. "Baby, it's standard. Just sign. He'll register everything with the proper offices." I sign where he points. Every page. My handwriting looks shaky because my hands are trembling with excitement. The ceremony itself is beautiful. The pastor speaks about love and commitment. Raquel's family cries happy tears. We exchange rings and kiss while everyone cheers. Afterwards, I ask the uncle when we'll get our official marriage certificate. He smiles and pats his manila folder. Processing takes time. Maybe 1 month, maybe 2. Government moves slow here. But you're married in God's eyes. That's what matters. Raquel squeezes my hand. "Don't worry about papers, husband. We know we're married. My family knows. God knows." That night, alone in our hotel room, I stare at my wedding ring. "Mrs. Raquel Anderson," I say out loud, trying out how her new name sounds. She giggles and snuggles closer. "I like it. I like being your wife." I hold her tight and whisper, "I trusted her. That was my biggest mistake. But I don't know that yet. Right now, I'm the happiest man in the world. Right now, I have a wife who loves me. Right now, the future looks perfect. We rent a furnished condo in Davao's business district. 2 bedrooms, city view, 24-hour security. It feels like playing house, except we're not playing. This is real life. Our life. Every morning, Raquel makes me coffee and calls me hubby. Good morning, hubby. Did you sleep well? The word makes me smile every single time. I'm somebody's husband again. I matter to someone again. The condo building has a small pool and a gym I never use. Raquel introduces me to our neighbors as her American husband. Mrs. Chen, from 4B, brings us homemade bibingka. The security guard calls me sir and asks about my day when I come back from walks. For the first time since my retirement, I feel like I belong somewhere, like I'm part of a community. Raquel handles all our practical affairs. She pays the rent and utilities from her bank account. When I offer to contribute, she waves me away. Save your money, love. My clinic job covers our basics. Your retirement is for our future. She's protective of my finances in a way that feels caring. Filipinas take care of their husbands. She explains, it's our culture. I like being taken care of. I like feeling valuable without having to prove it constantly. But there are small things that nag at me. She rarely lets me visit her workplace. The clinic doesn't like family dropping by, she says. Professional boundaries. When I suggest we open a joint bank account, she hesitates. Let's wait until your paperwork is sorted. Banking here is complicated for foreigners. I nod because it makes sense. Everything she says makes sense. She keeps her phone face down during dinner. When it buzzes, she glances at it quickly and turns it off. Work stuff, she says. My boss texts at all hours. I don't think much of it. I trust her. Why wouldn't I trust my wife? We're building something together. We're building a life. One evening, we're cooking adobo together in our tiny kitchen. She's singing along to the radio while she chops onions. I'm watching her move around the space like she owns it, like she was born to be here with me. Are you happy? I ask her. She looks up from the cutting board and smiles. Happiest I've ever been. Mahal ko. This is what I've always wanted. A husband who loves me. A home with him. Simple life, but real love. I kiss her forehead and think, this is what partnership looks like. This is what I've been missing my whole life. Not the dramatic fights and bitter silences of my previous marriages. Just peaceful domesticity with someone who chooses to be here. Someone who calls me hubby every morning like it's the most natural thing in the world. Later, lying in bed, she traces circles on my chest with her finger. Alvin, I'm so glad God brought us together. Her voice is soft and sleepy. Me too, baby. Me too. I fall asleep thinking I'm the luckiest man alive. I have no idea that everything I believe about my life is built on lies. 6 months into our marriage, Raquel brings up visiting America. We're having dinner at our favorite restaurant when she says, I want to meet your children. I want to see where you grew up. The way she says it, so earnest and hopeful, makes my heart swell. Really? You want to come to Bellingham? She nods eagerly. I want to be part of your whole life, not just your Philippines life. I want Derek and Emma to know their stepmother. I called Derek that night to tell him about our plans. Dad, are you sure about this? He asks. Bringing her to the States is a big step. I can hear the concern in his voice, but I push it away. I'm sure, son. She's my wife. She wants to meet you. There's a long pause. Okay, Dad. If you're happy, I'm happy. Emma's reaction is similar. Cautious but supportive. My kids are good people. They'll love Raquel once they meet her. The visa application process is more complicated than I expected. We need to prove our marriage is legitimate. Financial documents, photos together, sworn statements from friends and family. Raquel produces our marriage certificate and hands it to me. I examine it closely for the first time. It looks official, embossed seal, signatures, everything you'd expect. This should be enough, I tell her. She nods. Of course it is. We're really married. 3 weeks later, the visa denial letter arrives. Insufficient evidence of bona fide marriage, it says. Raquel cries when she reads it. Real tears, the kind that break your heart. They don't believe we're real, she sobs into my chest. How can they say that? We love each other. We live together. We're building a life together. I hold her and promise we'll try again. We'll get a better lawyer. We'll provide more evidence. They'll see how real we are. Raquel knows someone who specializes in visa cases, a woman named Attorney Santos who's helped several mixed couples. She's expensive, but she gets results, Raquel explains. The consultation fee alone is $800. Santos reviews our documents and shakes her head. Your marriage certificate is valid, but you need more supporting documentation. Bank statements, lease agreements, insurance policies, everything needs to show joint financial responsibility. I wire $2,800 to Santos for legal preparation and filing fees. It's a chunk of my retirement savings, but Raquel is worth it. Our future is worth it. This time will work, Raquel assures me, kissing my cheek. Santos knows what she's doing. We'll be in America by Christmas. I imagine showing Raquel around Bellingham, taking her to my favorite coffee shop, introducing her to my old postal route, watching her experience snow for the first time. We're real, I tell her. We'll prove it. The second application takes months to process. Every day, Raquel checks the online status. Still, under review, she reports, trying to hide her disappointment. I rub her shoulders and tell her to be patient. Good things take time, baby. The government moves slowly everywhere. She nods, but I can see the stress wearing on her. She's quieter during dinner. She spends more time on her phone. Just worried about the visa, she explains when I ask. I want this so badly. When the second denial arrives, Raquel doesn't cry. She just stares at the letter in silence. What do we do now? I ask. She folds the paper carefully and puts it in her purse. We wait. We try again later. Maybe after we've been married longer. But something in her voice has changed. Something has shifted. I can't put my finger on what, but the easy optimism is gone. We're real, I say again, more to convince myself than her. We'll prove it eventually. A year later, we decide to apply for a certified copy of our marriage certificate to support a third visa application. Attorney Santos suggests getting official verification from the court that registered our marriage. It adds credibility, she explains. Shows the government your union is properly documented in Philippines records. Raquel seems reluctant but agrees. If you think it will help, she says quietly. The clerk at Davao City Hall directs us to Judge Reyes in family court. He's an older man with silver hair and tired eyes who's clearly seen everything. His office is cramped and stuffy, filled with filing cabinets and legal books. You need verification of marriage registration, he asks, not looking up from the document I hand him. Yes, sir, for U.S. immigration purposes. He nods and begins reviewing our certificate. The silence stretches too long. Judge Reyes examines every page, every seal, every signature. His expression grows more puzzled with each minute. Finally, he sets the papers down and looks at me directly. Sir, I need to tell you something. This marriage certificate is not legally registered with our court system. The stamps and seals appear to be fraudulent. The words hit me like a physical blow. What do you mean fraudulent? I mean these documents were not issued by any legitimate authority in Davao City or Tagum City. The registration numbers don't exist in our database. The signatures are not from any judge or legal officer I recognize. My vision starts to blur. But we had a ceremony. There was an officiant, witnesses. My wife's family was there. Judge Reyes softens his voice. Sir, I'm sure you had a ceremony, but it was not legally binding. You are not legally married according to Philippines law. I turn to look at Raquel. She's staring at her phone, scrolling through messages like this conversation isn't happening. Raquel, I say. Her name comes out strangled. Did you hear what the judge said? She glances up briefly. Maybe there was a mistake at City Hall. Sometimes papers get lost. Judge Reyes shakes his head. Ma'am, these are not lost papers. These are fabricated documents. Someone created fake marriage certificates. Outside the courthouse, I grab Raquel's arm. Was it ever real? My voice is shaking. Did we ever actually get married? She pulls away from me. You're embarrassing me, Alvin. People are staring. But I don't care about people staring. I care about the truth. You said your uncle was a lawyer. You said he had connections. What was he really? She's already walking toward the street, looking for a taxi. He's not a lawyer, okay? But he's like one. He helps people with paperwork. What kind of paperwork? Fake paperwork. The words taste bitter in my mouth. She whirls around, and for the first time since I've known her, she looks angry. You wanted to get married fast, remember? You didn't want to wait for government processing. I gave you what you wanted. But that's not true. That's not what I wanted. I wanted a real marriage. A legal marriage. I wanted to be her husband, not her pretend husband. The taxi ride back to our condo is silent. Raquel stares out the window while I try to process what just happened. 2 years of my life. 2 years of calling her my wife, introducing her as my wife, believing I was her husband. All of it built on fake documents and lies. Raquel, I finally say as we pull up to our building. What happens now? She pays the driver without looking at me. I don't know, Alvin. I honestly don't know. That night, she sleeps on the couch. When I wake up the next morning, she's already gone to work. Or what I thought was work. Now I don't know what to believe about anything. 3 days after the courthouse revelation, I come back from a walk to find my key doesn't work in our condo door. I try it again, thinking maybe the lock is sticky. Nothing. The security guard, Manny, sees me struggling and walks over. Sir, ma'am said to give you this. He hands me my suitcase. My clothes are packed inside, along with my toiletries and the few personal items I kept at the condo. Where is she? I ask. Manny looks uncomfortable. She said to tell you she moved. She said you would understand. I stare at my suitcase, sitting in the lobby like abandoned baggage. 2 years of shared life reduced to one piece of luggage. Did she say when she's coming back? Manny shakes his head. Sir, she returned the keys to management this morning. Lease is terminated. The world tilts sideways. She's not just temporarily upset about the courthouse incident. She's done. Completely done. I take a taxi to a budget hotel near the airport. The room smells like industrial disinfectant and has a single bed with sheets that have seen better days. I sit on the edge of that bed and try to call Raquel. The number goes straight to a message saying it's disconnected. I try texting. Message failed to deliver. She's blocked me. After 2 years together, after living as husband and wife, she's blocked my number like I'm some kind of stalker. I try emailing her. The message bounces back. Email address not found. I create a new email account and try again. Same result. She's erased me completely from her digital life. Like I never existed. Like we never existed. I'm sitting in this depressing hotel room, staring at my phone, wondering if I imagined the last 2 years of my life. That evening, I'm scrolling through Facebook, looking for any trace of her online. That's when I see it. A live video chat in a group we used to be part of together. There's Raquel, laughing and animated, talking to someone off camera. She's wearing the pearl necklace I bought her for our first anniversary, or what I thought was our first anniversary. A man's voice comes through the speakers, speaking accented English. You look beautiful today, sweetheart, he says. She giggles and touches the necklace. Thank you, love. You make me feel beautiful. I close the laptop so fast I nearly break the screen. My hands are shaking. How long has this been going on? Was there someone else the entire time we were together? Was I just a placeholder until something better came along? The betrayal cuts deeper than the fake marriage documents. The fake marriage I could maybe understand as a cultural misunderstanding. But this is calculated deception. I don't sleep that night. I keep replaying moments from our relationship, looking for clues I missed. The phone calls she took in the other room. The times she worked late at the clinic. The way she sometimes seemed distracted during dinner. Were there signs? Was I just too lonely and desperate to see them? The next morning, I text her one final time from a different number. Why? Just one word. Just one question that contains everything I need to know. The message delivers, but there's no response. There will never be a response. The woman I called my wife has vanished from my life as completely as if she never existed. I'm sitting in a small boarding house in Cebu now, paying month-to-month rent for a room barely bigger than a walk-in closet. It's been 6 months since Raquel disappeared from my life. 6 months of trying to make sense of what happened to me, what I let happen to me. The room has one window that faces an alley where cats fight over scraps from the restaurant downstairs. It's not much, but it's honest. No pretense. No fake documents. Just a sad old man trying to figure out what's real anymore. I walk every morning along Colon Street, past the vendors selling fresh mangoes and the jeepneys belching exhaust. The rhythm helps me think, helps me process the wreckage of my so-called marriage. I've had time to research what really happened to me. Romance scams, they call them. Long-term emotional manipulation designed to extract money and immigration benefits from lonely foreigners. I wasn't special. I wasn't chosen. I was a mark. But here's the strange thing. I don't hate Raquel. I should, but I don't. She gave me 2 years of feeling loved, feeling wanted, feeling like I mattered to someone. Even if it was all performance, it was convincing performance. For 2 years, I woke up every morning next to someone who called me Mahal Ko and meant it, or at least acted like she meant it. For a man who'd spent his retirement alone, that was something. Maybe it was worth the money I lost. Maybe it was worth the humiliation. I drink instant coffee from a chipped mug and try to write in a journal my therapist back in Bellingham recommended. Write about your feelings, she said during our video sessions. Process the trauma. Trauma. That's what she calls it. I call it stupidity. I call it the cost of being 67 and desperate for companionship. But I write anyway. About the mornings Raquel made me feel like a real husband. About the evenings we cooked together in our fake marriage. About how good it felt to belong somewhere, even if the belonging was built on lies. I've looked into the legal requirements for real marriage in the Philippines. Church weddings, civil ceremonies, proper documentation, waiting periods. It's not complicated if you follow the rules. If you don't try to cut corners. If you don't trust someone who says their uncle can handle everything. If you ask the right questions instead of just believing what you want to believe. I should have known better. At my age, with my experience, I should have seen through it all. Sometimes I imagine running into Raquel on the street. What would I say? Would I demand answers? Would I ask if any of it was real? Would I tell her that I still dream about the mornings when she called me hubby, and it felt like the most natural thing in the world? I think I'd probably just nod and walk away. What's the point of confronting a ghost? I never reported her to the authorities. What crime did she commit, really? She never stole money from me directly. I gave it willingly. She never forced me to sign fake documents. I signed them because I wanted to believe we were building something real together. She played a role I desperately needed someone to play, and I paid for that service with my savings and my dignity. Maybe that's not fraud. Maybe that's just business. The woman I called my wife never existed. Not really. She was a character created to fill the emptiness in my life, and she played that character perfectly. Every morning coffee. Every evening cooking session. Every time she introduced me as her husband to neighbors and strangers. All of it was theater, but it was beautiful theater. For 2 years I got to be the leading man in someone's romantic drama instead of the lonely extra in my own story. I'm learning to be alone again. Learning to make coffee for one person. Learning to eat dinner in silence. Learning that loneliness is better than fake companionship, even when the fake companionship felt real enough to sustain me. The woman I loved was never legally mine. Maybe she was never emotionally mine either. But I was hers. Completely. And for 2 years, that felt like enough.